Good morning, everyone. I'm Alex McCarthy, the communications coordinator here at the network. Thank you so much to everyone who came in person, everyone who's attending on Zoom. We often hear that people want to have a stronger, more professional-looking social media presence, and today I think you'll learn a lot of the tools for that from our guest speaker, Emily Bauman, who is the Strategic Communications Manager at Foster and Adoptive Care Coalition. She has a lot of experience in the nonprofit marketing world. She's on the board of the Nonprofit Marketers Network St. Louis and the Young Friends of the Animal Protective Association of Missouri. She's worked previously at the Missouri Botanical Garden and at the St. Louis Community Foundation, where she worked with our CEO, Neosha Franklin, and our comptroller, Maurice Brown. So we're big fans of Emily here at the network, and we know that by the end of this, you will also be a big fan. So please welcome Emily to the podium.
Thank you, Alex. Good morning. How is everybody? Glad to hear it. Hello, Zoom people. Super happy to be with you today. As Alex said, thank you for the intro. My name's Emily Bauman. My pronouns are she, hers. And today we are going to go through transforming your social media brand through graphics. Super fun training, which I've done a couple times, and glad to be here with you doing it live. So we'll just have a couple quick housekeeping items, and then we'll jump right in. All right, so the agenda for today, we'll just start with some quick introductions. Also, if you brought your computer and you want to follow along with Canva, please go ahead and get it booted up, because we're going to start with our Canva overview, including how to get that nonprofit discount, a detailed program overview and live demo, and then a conversation about what it means to develop your visual brand. Then we'll move into talking about growing your audience, some next steps that you can take away with you, and have time for questions. And we should have plenty of time for questions, so please hold them until the end. I'll be very happy to go back to anything, and we'll also make sure that these slides get sent out to you afterwards. So just real quick, Alex covered most of this. I'm currently at the Foster and Adoptive Care Coalition. It's a child welfare nonprofit and a proud community impact network, member agency. And then I'm also on the board of Nonprofit Marketers Network, which is a professional affinity group. So QR code's there if you want more information. And I'll share my contact information on the last slide in case anyone would like to get in touch after this. I love doing this. I'm a people person. I'd be happy to connect. So let's get to it. So as we go through the training today, I would just like you to keep in mind that, especially if you're new to the social media space, if you haven't really thought about what your brand's visual identity could be, this may feel a little bit overwhelming. It is a lot to learn, but that's completely okay. So please just try and keep in mind one thing that you learned today that you can implement tomorrow that feels realistic and comfortable for you and your organization. We'll come back to this at the end of the training in case anybody would like to share what their one thing is. So we'll start with our overview of Canva, which is an online graphic design tool, as most of you probably know. It has been around for a while, but I would say that it's really taken off within the last 3 to 5 years. And it's an awesome tool. I have a classic graphic design background. I went to school for it. I use the Adobe programs like Photoshop and Illustrator, and I still use Canva pretty much every day. It's been a great supplement to my work and is a great way to make brand happen for your organization if you're finding yourself in a role where, well, if I don't do it, no one's going to, right? And I think a lot of us have been in that role at some point. And best of all, for nonprofits, Canva Pro is completely free. I promise. This is like not a trick. You get full access to Canva Pro, which is templates, design assets, stock photography, animations, even royalty-free music, a ton of assets, much more, and it really is completely free. There is no catch. The application process is super easy, and I just wanted to go over it real quick so that we could all see. So on the Canva website, Canva for Nonprofits, if you Google Canva for Nonprofits, this will come right up. There's a really quick and easy application. And as long as you meet these eligibility guidelines, which probably 99% of you will, you can review these on your own time, you'll be able to get in. And I have found that this approval process usually only takes a couple days. So the application is really quick and easy. Just click apply. We're going to get started. Oh, we've already made a mistake. It's because I'm logged into the Coalition's account here to be able to do the demo. But after you click Get Started, you're just going to put in your organization's name or EIN. Use your agency email, because then it's going to be easy for them to tie your organization back to you. And there's just a few questions to fill out. You'll need to upload your determination letter. It really couldn't be easier. So once you have Canva Pro, you get access to this full back end of Canva. Now this is the Coalition's real account. Like I said, we use this pretty much every day. So these are the real graphics that me and my team are working on. And you can see, got a lot of brand stuff here. But let's do a demo as if we were starting from scratch. So the very first thing that I'd recommend that you do is start here in your brand kit and brand templates, because this is where we can actually build out our agency's brand for the first time. So if you're doing this for the first time, you're obviously not going to have a couple templates here, but start in brand kit, and then I'm going to click here onto add new. And I've created a fake nonprofit called 4Paws that I'm going to be using today, because I'm very involved in animal welfare and love animals. So of course I did that. So we'll just go with 4Paws. Stay organized there. And this brand kit is where we can add our assets like our logo and our brand colors to use throughout our Canva designs so that we're creating that consistent visual identity, which puts our brand in front of our audience, it builds trust, and it builds recognition so that they shouldn't really even have to read your post to know that it's yours. They should know that just by seeing it, that quick subliminal, they know that they're looking at content from you, which is what we want. So I'm going to go ahead and just upload a couple logos. All right, we'll try the drag and drop. Go. So I created just a few fake logos for this nonprofit. Obviously, you would want to add your real files. So we'll drag and drop those in. We've got our color versions and our white versions, which I would always recommend. Now, if your agency doesn't have a logo, and that's something you're building out for the first time, that is something you could do in Canva if you don't have a designer on staff or a consultant. And then once you have those files, I recommend uploading those as PNGs so that the background is transparent. There won't be like an ugly white box behind your logo. And then also so that the white version of your logo will actually be visible on that transparent background. If you save the white version of your logo as a JPG, it's just going to be a white box. So we'll also move on and add our brand colors. So if you know the hex code of your brand color, you can add that right in. So this is like an identifying number. Every single color has a unique hex code. So if you know it, you can put it in. You can use the click and drag to choose a brand color. Or one of my favorite Canva tidbits, this eyedropper allows you to eyedrop anything on the page. So let me just go in there and pick the Happy Tails blue. Let's go in and pick the Happy Tails gray. And then for fun, since this is kind of a fake brand that we're building, let's just add kind of a fun like accent. You know what? Let's make it green. Why not? So I'm making this up as I go, right? Your organization probably has an established brand. You probably, hopefully, have brand colors that you won't have to use a color picker to pull out, but just in the interest of the demonstration, kind of show you how it works. You can also go in and identify fonts that you'd like to use for your organization. And you can set these from title all the way down to caption, lots of different options here. These Canva fonts are available to you to use. You don't have to worry about licensing. And they've got a lot of really nice options. You can also upload a font if you've purchased the license for a font file. you can add it in here, an OTF or a TTF font file. I would say probably a lot of organizations don't do that and use either fonts that are just available on Canva or ones that are available through Adobe if you have someone on your team who's working in Adobe products. A lot of the times then, if you have someone who's working in Adobe, they can suggest an equivalent for you to use in Canva. So I'm not going to bother with that just because we can just use the defaults for this. You can add brand voice, guidelines describing how you want people creating graphics to talk about your organization. I'll go ahead and add a picture here. Come on. Here we go. Making me click in all the way. So like, if this was a picture of my organization's actual work, and I know I want to use it a lot, or maybe it's a picture of my executive director that I know I'm going to use it a lot, I might go ahead and put it in my brand kit. And then same thing here with brand graphics. This seems to be a little bit easier. If you have icons or something else, just like this little paw print that you want to add, maybe there's an icon that you always use for a certain program or a little visual accent that you already have as part of your brand, you can add that into graphics and then be able to access it really easily. And then same thing with icons. So you can fill out this brand kit to whatever extent works for you, but I find absolutely the most helpful things to have in here are the logo and the colors, just for ease of access when we're actually making a design, which is what we're going to do next. So the beautiful thing about Canva is that it does a lot of thinking for you. If anybody here is in the graphic space, if you're familiar with social media, it changes all the time. Instagram just changed your profile grid from a square to a rectangle. Why did they do that to us? Canva knows. Canva updated their templates. So you can see here, you can select some common social media template sizes like Facebook posts, Instagram posts. You can even go down to print products and choose from business card, standard 3.5 by 2 inches, posters, invitations, or you can do a custom size and even change that if you wanted to work in pixels, inches, millimeters, centimeters. It's completely customizable for whatever you want. So for the purpose of the demonstration, I'm just going to go ahead and do a Facebook post, just because it's first. So I clicked on that templated size, and now it's actually taking me into the graphics builder. So this interface, I think parts of it are intuitive and parts of it are not. So we'll kind of start with basic navigation and basic features, and then do another design that'll take you a little bit deeper into some of the creative options. So the builder here, you start with just one blank page. You can add more pages if you want. There's different ways that you can view those here if you like to view them as a grid or as thumbnails, full screen. Kind of whatever your preference is. I would like to get out of grid view, please. There we go. So you can have more than one design of the same size in your working space. This side menu here is where you're going to find all your fun graphic elements. This is what you're really going to use when you're actually building out your design. We're going to go over these in more detail. Up here you also have, of course, undo and redo options. You can change how you're actually viewing this design. If you just want to leave comments, make sure you don't mess with anything, you can change that. And then this area up in the right-hand corner is where we download or share our graphics. So we will look at all of these in detail, but it is basically just that left-hand side menu and that top menu bar. So we're going to go ahead and start with what I think the best Canva element for beginners is, which is these design templates. So these are awesome. This does and can do so much of at least getting you to a good starting point to be able to customize an existing template for whatever you need. So for example, in this top search bar, I'm going to search Trivia Night. And I now have access to dozens, if not hundreds, of templates that I can use and then edit for my upcoming event. And like, some of these are really cute. And they're all editable, at least to a certain extent. So you can choose a design and then click in it to see what's available to you to customize. And we will do that. I just want to show you a couple more. So let's search fundraiser. Well, that's a lot of nice options. Some very different feelings here, a little bit more fun and trendy, a little bit more formal, holiday themed. This one has a lot of options for pictures. So I've got a wealth of options here available to me right away that I can use as a starting point and then customize. And then let's try invitation. Again, lots of great starting points here. I can scroll through, get some inspiration, click on one that I think that might work for my need, and go from there. But we're gonna pick a fun template. We're gonna do a picnic one, because our event is picnic with puppies, because why not, right? So I like this one, so I'm gonna go ahead and click into this template. And oh, also, if you're following along in Canva, but you don't have Pro on your account yet, you're not going to be able to access anything that's indicated by a little crown icon here, but you will be able to once your Canva Pro application goes through. So we have our template. You can see it's been imported into my artboard. It's automatically been resized. And now I can go in and change this to customize it for my event. So let's start really easy and just click in to edit this text. Picnic with puppies. So this text is completely editable. I can change the font face. I can change the color if I want to. If I go into the 4Pros brand kit, I can easily change that to my brand color. Super easy, right there. These boxes are all responsive to be able to click and drag to get all that text to fit on one line, and then hold down in the corner, hold shift to make it a little bit smaller so that it'll fit up top here in the bar. So super easy to edit the text, right? Also, I don't think I love these little flower graphics, so I'm just gonna click on that. I'm gonna delete it. I'm gonna replace it with my little paw print graphic. So I'm gonna go into my brand kit, go down in here, there's my little graphic. I'm gonna click and resize, whoops. Sorry, I'm still not used to this laptop. Click to resize, super easy. I can even click this toggle here to change the angle. Again, super easy. Maybe make it a little bit smaller. And we'll just put it there at the end. Bump it around using the arrow keys on my keyboard. And then just adjust so that everything's readable, right? So what, a minute, and we've changed the header and the header graphic. It's also easy to change the font face. So let's say this date is fine, sure. My picnic is on Sunday, but I want a slightly different font. So I've clicked up here into the font options, and let's just not think about this too much. Let's just change it to Open Sans and see. And I think that looks fine, but I'm gonna retype it so that it's not in title case. Maybe. Oh, here we go. Okay, so this is good. So this template already had this text box set as uppercase right here in this toggle, so I'm just gonna toggle that off. I feel like this is making noise every time I type. It's annoying, sorry. Great. So that's fine. Let's just go ahead and do the same thing there and do the same thing there. But orange is not part of my brand color, so again, I'm just gonna adjust the colors. So again, you can see how it's really easy once you have this brand kit built out to change your design so that it immediately starts looking more like your agency's brand. We can even change this background color here, just clicking in actually to the background as a whole. I'm just gonna make it white, I think, so that all my text stands out quickly. Again, you'll play with this for whatever is authentic to your visual brand and your agency itself. If you never, ever, ever use a white background, your graphics always have a blue background, you'll do whatever's right for you. So let's go ahead and change this text as well. Again, really easy to go in. Join us for a picnic with puppies. $10 admission. Sure. But I would really like people to know who this event benefits, right? So I'm going to go ahead and add the Happy Tales logo in as well. A cute little fake logo. Sorry, again, not used to this computer. Resize that. And I'm going to tuck that into this corner. Again, it's really easy just to click and drag to move elements around. And so I would recommend that any social media graphic that you create, you include your logo on it. And that might feel really redundant sometimes, and it might kind of be a pain to try and find space for that in your graphic. But we're trying to build that visual brand. We want consistency. We want recognition. We want people to know that this is our event and our content and to get excited about it kind of subliminally before they even look at it in detail. So really prioritize putting your logo on your post across all social media platforms. So again, just clicking and dragging around a little bit more. I'm going to give myself a little bit more space to type here. Maybe we want to say benefits are spay and neuter. Super easy to make changes. Maybe I want that to be bold. I've got kind of all the normal text effect options up here. We'll click it right in. And so this is looking pretty good other than the fact that there's no dog on it. So I'm going to drop in my favorite brand photo. Maybe this is the one that my team has decided is the signature picture for this event. And what I've just done is drop it into the existing photo frame, double click, and I can get in there and resize however I want. Move her around. Cutie. And then for this picture, I think I'm going to lean on the Canva elements. Again, all this stock photography that I have access to. So this, it's easiest to search by keywords, such as like dog, kid, happy, not happy kid playing with a dog. Leave out all the extra words. Try and keep it really simple, and you'll get better results. I'm just going to search puppy, because don't we all want to look at puppy pictures? So Canva's giving me graphic options, it's giving me photos, it's even giving me videos, and I guess some audio of a dog barking, which is interesting. But I'm going to click into pictures here, and just, I don't know, that dog's cute. We'll put that in there. So we have a graphic, right? Could this probably use some more tweaking? Sure. But in just a few minutes, we've created something that is branded. It uses pictures about our event. It has our colors. It has our logo. It's got information. It's got a call to action. And this is definitely a start on something that's a cohesive identity for this event that fits with our organization as a whole. So I do want to show you some more of the in-depth options that Canva gives you to actually make adjustments to pictures, whether that's stock photography or when you're uploading your own. So I'm just going to move over to a fresh page and drop in another picture. I don't know. Let's just go with them. So this is just, we're not making a graphic. I just want to show you some of the different things you can change. So in this top navigation menu here, you can add various borders and border styles, which you may or may not want to do, depending on your design. You can also easily round the corners of a picture with just a simple click and drag. You can change the opacity of a picture or any other element using this click and drag right here. But the really powerful tools are in Edit. So click in and it's going to open up another dialog box for you where you can add filters. We're all familiar with those from our Instagram days to change color. We can even go a little bit deeper and have some pink dogs if we were so inclined. Let's not do that. They're cute the way they are. We can add blur, we can add shadows. Well, we're not going to retouch the puppies, but if we had a picture of a person and we wanted to do some light retouching, we could do that in here. And then my favorite Canva tools are up here in Magic Studio. So this has become much more advanced in the past few years, and Canva makes it really easy for us to do things like remove backgrounds. Now this is going to depend on the picture you choose. It's not going to be perfect. You can see their paws look a little bit weird. But if your subject is on a simple background, if they're in focus and the background is blurred, and the background's like not too colorful or busy, this tool really does pretty well. And I could absolutely still use this and then just crop out the puppy's feet where it got a little bit messed up on the grass there. So I'm gonna undo. I'm gonna try Magic Eraser. And I don't like this leaf. Let's get rid of that. And it's thinking. And it did an okay job, right? This background's pretty busy. I am asking it to remove something that's on grass, but you can imagine if you had a picture of, maybe it was one of your colleagues sitting at a table giving a presentation and you wanted to get rid of their coffee cup, that would be really easy to do with Magic Eraser. And we can also do Magic Grab, which allows us to choose subjects to grab out of the background of the picture. And again, the efficacy of this is going to depend on what you're asking it to do. Definitely simpler is better. Let's see. It did pretty good there. Now we've got 4 puppies instead of 2. So we can be doubly happy. So again, some really powerful tools in here that definitely aren't perfect. You're going to want to pay attention to the end result that it spits out. But these used to be things that you could only do in Photoshop. And now we can do them pretty effectively in Canva. And it's an awesome way to take your designs to the next level. I also want to show you another one of my favorite tools, which is the alignment tool, because I'm a little bit of a perfectionist. So I've gone into this text menu on the left-hand side here. I'm just going to add some dummy text. Puppy picnic. And then subheading. Join us. And then some body copy, sure. Benefiting our nonprofit. Okay, so that doesn't look, we can't read that. That's maybe censored, right? I could bother with fiddling around. You can see these guidelines are showing up to tell me when the object that I'm selecting is centered. I don't have time for that. I'm a busy nonprofit professional. I'm going to select everything that I want to align and click position. And then I can tell, well, I want you to align all the left edges. I want you to center all of these elements together. This is going to look really weird, but I want you to align all the bottom edges. So you can see how this tool will allow you to really quickly make the different elements of your design line up and be more organized, rather than just spending the time to do it by hand. And you can also change the spacing for if you just automatically wanted even vertical space between the elements, and you can also resize elements as a group when you've selected more than one. So really easy to manipulate text and other elements within Canva. This tool has seriously gotten powerful enough to the point where I will see how the background remover does, and sometimes I don't even bother opening Photoshop because it does a good enough job. So we love that. A couple more things that I wanted to show was just how to copy elements from another design. Super simple. So we have our picnic with puppies, but let's say that we also wanted to just do like a little bit more logistics about if you're going to bring your dog. So I'm just going to click and then hold Shift to select more than one item at a time. I prefer using Control-C, but you can also, of course, right-click and do copy. And we'll paste that right in here. And it pastes in place, so that placement is identical to where we copied it from. And then let's also copy this picture and our logo, same thing, and paste in place. Couldn't be easier. And then just add some quick logistical information. Dogs 6 months and older. Please, no cats. Kids welcome. Sure. but I think I would really like for this text to match this subheader here on my other graphic. So I'm going to copy this over to my other design, paste it in, and then use the copy style to copy this style. Oop, I did it in reverse. Sorry. Clicking on the style I want, copy style, clicking there. So again, that was clicking what I want to copy, clicking copy style, pasting that onto what I want to change. And so then I can click and drag, size that up again, super easy to edit elements. I'm just gonna align that by hand to the side. Sure, some logistics, right? I know we're using a Facebook graphic size right here, but let's pretend that we were actually making a flyer and that this was a flyer. Another one of my most favorite Canva elements is the QR code generator. So in Elements on the left-hand side menu, I was to search QR code, and Canva will generate a QR code for you. Please don't put QR codes on your social media posts. We're viewing social media posts with our phones, so we then can't scan the QR code. But please absolutely put them on things like flyers, one-pagers, postcards. QR codes are definitely in, and while probably none of us really want to have to scan one at a restaurant to look at a menu, they're great for things like this, especially if it's call to action to be like, scan this QR code to register, and you've just made it really easy for that person to take the action that you want them to. So we'll just use this, puppies. That's not real, right? But your URL would be. We generate the code, and then there it is. We can click and drag that and resize it if we want to, just like any other element in Canva. That's one of my favorite things too, because it used to be you had to have like a whole third-party app to generate a QR code. Then it was something that Adobe put into their programs, and now we're able to do it directly in Canva, which is really, really nice. Other elements of Canva that you may want to use are animations and music. So let's look for animated puppy. We'll just keep with puppies. Let's see what we get. Let's go into graphics. And sure, that one's cute. So we can click and add an animation into our design easily. Again, everything in this Canva library is available for you to use. You don't have to worry about licensing. And then just like, wow, that's a lot of random animal noises. Let's search for happy guitar. So this is not like music you're going to recognize off the radio. It is stock music, royalty-free. You don't have to have an additional license to use it. Some of it is really weird. So if you do choose to add music or audio to any of your designs, listen to the whole thing, please. I will not regale you with too many stories in the interest of time, but trust me, listen to the whole thing. So you can see how in just a few minutes, these are quick demos. They're not perfect, right? If I wanted to, I could fiddle with them for a lot longer. But we've created a brand graphic for our Picnic with Puppies events. We've included our logo and our brand colors, so they recognize it as us. We've used our signature picture for the event. We've shown how we can move some elements around, copy styles, add fun things like little animations to add excitement while still staying on brand. And it would be really easy to use these base concepts for something like a postcard or an event invitation or a banner that you had up that day. So it's really quick and easy in Canva to build graphics that support your brand's identity and just reinforce it every time. And so once you have created the graphic that you're happy with, you're going to want to do something with it, right? So Canva allows you to share your graphics in a variety of ways. Download them to your computer directly, or you can actually schedule your graphics to your social media accounts through Canva if you have your accounts connected. And that's all under this share button up at the top. So I'll show download first. So I'm going to click into download. You have a variety of file types available to you. It's suggesting MP4 video because it knows that I added audio and animation. Then I'll just click JPEG, which is an image file. We can adjust size and quality however we need to, and then we can choose which pages we want to download. So lots of options here, pretty intuitive. Done. And then and it's even given me a warning here because I have that animation on another page being like, hey, your animation's not gonna work, you're downloading an image file. That's okay because I'm downloading page 1, which doesn't have that. So couldn't be easier. Downloads directly to my computer, and then I can do whatever I want with it, right? We can also, go away. Oh, there we go. We can also create a public view link if we wanted to send this design to someone else to look at who doesn't have our Canva. Maybe it's your event co-chair who needs to have visibility on everything. That's really easy as well. Literally just 2 steps to create a public view link, drop that in any browser, and someone external will be able to see your design. And then scheduling is also available under this same share button. Click into schedule, gives me options for dates and times. The Coalition social media accounts aren't connected to Canva. We use another scheduling app. So I can't fully demonstrate this for you, but you can see how I've chosen my date and time. I would be able to select the channel here, supports all major social media channels, and I can even go ahead and write my caption right here in Canva. So I make my design, I schedule it, forget about it, hopefully watch interest roll in. And you can save that as a draft as well if you want to come back to it. I have used the Canva scheduler. I don't love it, but that's really more of a me thing because I'm like, what if it doesn't work? It's never not worked, right? But I would always just check and make sure that, if you've scheduled a post and for some reason you don't see that it has gone up, just pop back into Canva, seeing if it's giving you an error message, like for some reason the connection to your social media account was dropped, because sometimes that does happen. That happens on any social media scheduler. So just go in and kind of like pay attention. You can't totally schedule it and forget about it, unfortunately. Okay, so I'm gonna switch back into PowerPoint just so that we can talk a little bit more about raising awareness on social media. And again, I'm happy to go back to anything in the demo at the end. Oh, great, that worked perfectly. Okay. So you've spent all this time creating beautiful brand graphics that uphold your organization's visual identity, they tell your story, they raise awareness, hopefully ultimately drive donations. Or maybe it's crickets on your social media feed. I know I have definitely thought and been told, we need to grow our audience, we need more followers, but sometimes that feels impossible, expensive, or both. So we're gonna talk about practical tips to grow your social media audience that will not require you to beg for a bigger budget. So when you post, your audience has the option to engage with you in a variety of ways. These do vary a little bit by platform, but generally it's reactions, like liking, commenting, and sharing. And so I would highly, highly recommend that you keep up with these engagements and respond to them in a timely manner. And that is absolutely not just responding to questions. If someone shares your organization's post, you should like what they shared and say thank you. If you posted pictures of an event and someone commented saying how much fun they had, comment on that and tell them how glad you were that they could make it. Your audience is gonna love that genuine interaction. It's gonna make them feel special, and they're really going to appreciate that you are paying such close attention to what they're saying. These are people who follow you, they know you, they love you, they're invested in your work, and they're gonna feel good whenever they feel like they're getting a shout out from you. And then one of my favorite tips is turning likers into followers on Facebook. This is super easy to do, but I think that a lot of people miss it. So when you're acting as an administrator on your organization's Facebook page, and you have a post that you've posted, actually click on those engagements, which is the hearts and hugs and likes, and you'll get this list of people who are following you, and people who have been invited to follow you before, and people who don't follow you yet. And it is completely free to go down this list and click invite, 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 invite. I try and do this a couple times a week, If we have a post that's getting a lot of engagement, I might do it a couple times per day, because I really think it's best to invite someone to follow you when they recently engaged with your content, because then you have the best chance of catching them again when they remember what they liked so much in the first place, as opposed to waiting days or weeks, and then this person who said, pick me, yes, I'm interested in this, I like this. It's like, why did this random page invite me to like their stuff? I don't remember anything about them. And that's definitely not what we want. This is also a really good way to see if there's any familiar names on the list. Maybe you recognize the name of a donor or a super involved volunteer or board member who is liking posts about a program that they have never supported. And that could be a great way to invite them to an info session or out to coffee to discuss it. That maybe you or another member of your team who you can give some info, be like, hey, our board member, Bob, is all over this. Is he going to the info session that we're having next week? And that's a great experience for that board member, and that's just better for your organization. And so reviewing these social media engagements can be a great cue for stewardship, in addition to a way to build your audience completely free and pretty low effort. So this is a real post that the Foster and Adoptive Care Coalition shared last week about Tiana, a kiddo who's impacted by foster care and is looking for permanent family. We share these posts regularly, and we have a handful of waiting kiddos that my wonderful team is supporting. And this was posted directly to Facebook and Instagram. We did not boost this post in any way. We did not spend a single cent on it. And it might be kind of hard to see, but when you look at the bottom, you can see that this post received 96 reactions and 31 shares. So those numbers are going to vary greatly based on your audience sizes and how engaged they are. That might feel like a lot to you. That may not feel like very much to you. For frame of reference, I'm pretty excited about that. For the coalition, that's typical for what we see for our posts about our kiddos, because our audience loves hearing about our kiddos. So I feel excited about it, and it is even performing organically, again, no money spent, better than I expected. And this content always performs the best for us because it's kids, right? But when I dig deeper into this data, I see something that is really amazing. So again, in administrator view, you can just go into your content insights to learn a lot more about how your content is performing. And so what these numbers mean is that the post about Tiana was put before a pair of eyeballs 9,700 times. And it was put before about 5,800 unique people. But if you go down a little bit further, and that little pie chart, 64% of those people don't follow the coalition, which means that they saw this post because someone they know shared it. And that's awesome, because that's thousands of people who have now been introduced to our mission in, at least some small way. They're meeting the kids, and hopefully, since I'm gonna invite them to follow my page, because I'm gonna stalk all of my post engagements, we have the hook in, and we're gonna keep them on as a new part of our audience. And so it's definitely not realistic to expect everything you post to perform the same way. There's always an ebb and flow just based on what you're posting and on the timing, what else is going on in the media. But please pay attention to these deeper content insights, especially that non-followers percentage, because that's amazing, that's huge. Tiana's family could be one of those people, and that's our mission, right? And so when you post authentic content, you will receive more engagement. That post about Tiana is as true to our mission as it gets, and when you put content in front of your audience that inspires them and reminds them of why they support you in the first place, they're gonna feel proud and excited to share it, because it's one small thing that they can do to support your work. Super easy to click, to like, to share. And that small thing can add up to thousands of views for your content, and hopefully many new followers, like the post about Tiana did for us. And so I do recommend that to get this ball rolling, if this isn't something that's already happening for you, lead by example. Your staff, board, and volunteers should be your most engaged social media followers. A share is best because it helps make those circles of influence wider and wider. But likes and comments are also great, whatever feels comfortable for people. Make it easy for them, provide clear instructions, maybe a walkthrough at a board meeting or a screen recording of how to share a post, because not everybody knows how to do it. But it's worth it, because it really is exponential effect. And then follow back up with your team. I just did this in our staff meeting yesterday. I showed them Tayana's post. And it helps them understand that that seemingly small action of clicking share absolutely adds up to something big. And for us, it adds up to Homes for Kids. So moving on, want to make sure, let's see, all right, we'll make this quick. I want to encourage you to leverage partner voices. Please reach out to your partners to do some highlights and shout outs. You can work together to figure out what your focus is going to be, who's going to do what, post to social media, tag each other. While there's definitely going to be some overlap in your audience, you are doubtlessly also going to find new people who have already shown their interest in the kind of work that you're doing, so they're your warmest leads, right? And then, again, follow up on those engagements and invite people to like your page. And this is just going to mutually benefit you and your partners. You're already working together, you already have that relationship, grow your audiences together. This is a super easy yes. Think about if you were asked to do this by someone else, you would say yes. So try and implement that sooner rather than later. I also want to recommend that you think about the timing of your posts. I don't check my social media feed at 4 a.m. on a Tuesday, and neither do the coalition's social media followers. So pay attention to what times your audience seems to be most active. If you are using a social media scheduling app, such as Hootsuite or Loomly, they'll actually recommend times for you based on aggregate data. Or you can just ask your staff and board, when do you browse social media? Do you do it first thing in the morning? Are you during dinner doom scroller? And align your post with that. Also think about longevity of content. The pace at which our feeds cycle through new content varies really greatly by platform, with Twitter and X being minutes, if not seconds. LinkedIn, I see stuff from 2 weeks ago. So think about customizing captions and length of content based on the platform that you're posting for, and then also consider posting at different times, depending on the platform. I think most of us probably check LinkedIn during the workday and social media outside of work, right? All right, so last but not least, we won't go over this in detail, but I just wanted to mention some other ideas that you might want to try. We already talked about QR codes a little bit. Put one of those in your office at your sign-in sheet or your receptionist desk that go directly to your social media channels to ask people who come in to see you to follow you. That's super easy, and you may get some traction from it. You never know. You can also incentivize your social media followers to sign up for your emails. I don't necessarily mean a prize, though those are great. Offer them exclusive content that they're only going to get through your emails. They're not going to get it on social media. Maybe that's a video message from your president, or email subscribers get the first opportunity to sign up for a program. It's pretty easy to convert people that way when they can take another small action to get something that they feel is exclusive. And then if you have capacity, there's things like thought leadership, so submitting content based on what your staff is an expert on to local publications and news outlets. You could co-host an event with one of those partners that you did a social media shout out with. And of course, you can consider paid advertising, which is a whole other training. What you might not know is that with paid advertising, you really can get very granular on audience demographics and interests, which does help ensure that your ads are seen by people who are likely to engage with them. It is a very effective use of dollars if it's realistic for your organization to have budget to put behind it. All right, so next steps. So let's circle back to this. I hope that some of you have been able to identify one thing that feels realistic and comfortable that you learned today that you'll be able to implement tomorrow. So if anyone would like to share, you'd be welcome to. I'll run through this real quick and then we'll just open it up. Another next step for you is if you're interested in doing a little bit of further learning on Canva. The Community Foundation is offering a Give STL Day training on advanced Canva for fundraising at the end of the month. The QR code goes directly to that trainings page, or you can follow the link when we send out these slides. I'm not facilitating this training, but I'm sure it's going to be excellent. I'll be attending it. I'm definitely looking forward to it. You can flex your newly built Canva muscles and grow your audience a little bit more. And then, of course, if you're not registered for Give STL Day yet, that is coming up. Registration is open. Some of you may know me from when I led Give STL Day, so it's definitely near and dear to my heart. And if you're considering participating, I would definitely recommend going to this training and the others that they're offering. So here's how to get in touch with me. That QR code goes directly to my LinkedIn if you'd like to add me. I would love to hear from you for absolutely anything. Like I said, I'm very much a people person and welcome any opportunity to collaborate. So if anybody would like to share their one thing they learned today, if anybody has questions, or Alex said something about organization updates, that's all I got for you.
Thank you for your presentation. I use Canva in my school community, creating flyers, newsletters. But two things that I am interested in today, like you showed how you uploaded a document and a picture and put it inside the format that you were going to use, the template that you were going to use.
Yeah.
Sometimes I can upload an old flyer and be able to edit the flyer, and sometimes I can't. So I need to find out, is it a particular lock on some flyers that don't allow me to modify the flyer?
Was it all created in Canva originally?
No, so I have been able in time past to take anyone's flyer, basically, and use that as a template and then recreate it with my own color scheme and put my own spin on it. But I noticed recently with a few flyers that I haven't been able to edit at all. And so I really wanted to know what is the barrier? What is impeding me from being able to edit some flyers that are not even generated in Canvas? It could be any flyer,
So that's an interesting question. I have not tried to do that personally before, but my best guess would be that if you're importing like another PDF or an image file of a flyer into Canva, for you to be able to edit that, Canva is recognizing the different text and graphic elements and doing its best to make them available to edit for you, which is why when you click into those, you might be like, oh, that spacing is kind of weird, or this isn't quite as aligned as it was when I imported it into Canva in the first place. So it may be that just Canva isn't able to do that for some of the documents that you're uploading. If it's like a really busy background or something like that, it may not be able to recognize the text as editable. I'd be happy to take a closer look at that with you if you want to reach out and show me what you're dealing with, though.
Yes, I appreciate that. And the second part was generating a QR code. Usually we generate QR codes from, not necessarily from Canva, because we attach a survey to our QR code. So I know I can generate a QR code, but can I also use that QR code in Canva to generate a survey like I can in my Google Drive?
So what I would do for that, if you're already able to generate QR codes that work for you, is download that as an image file and then upload it into Canva and just use the same one.
Yeah, we usually do it like that, but when you showed me that you can also, I just wanted to know that Canva have that feature that would allow me to formulate a survey, and so I do everything in Canva. So normally I create it in the Drive, and then I upload the QR code on the flyer that I create in Canva.
Canva is just going to be able to create that QR code for you based on the link that you add in. So if the link goes to the survey, then that would work, but it won't give you that extra layer option.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
This is like a basic thing, but when you were setting up like the brand stuff in Canva, how do you differentiate between like the icons and like graphics or whatever that were like the two under there? You didn't, I think, add anything to like icons, but like what's the difference between those two?
I think that's kind of up to your organization's interpretation. For me, icons are more like simple graphics that represent something else. Like, oh, we always use this heart graphic when we talk about the communities we served, or we always use this little paw print graphic when we talk about our pack walks for our dog organization. And then graphics would maybe be something more extensive, like if you had a chart that you wanted to add, like if it was a pie chart for your impact or your budget, an org chart or something like that. But there's really no wrong way to handle it. It's however you want to organize your files.
And then I have a functionality question, because you copied the last thing when you were copying that style, you copied the text over to the other tab. If you just left the date in that first window, could you just copy the style from the one window over to the other, or does it set? In Excel, it'll if you don't have the Excel cells highlighted anymore, you can't copy
Let's
that text.
see.
It's kind of finicky.
Let's
I
try
was
and go
just
page to
curious.
page. The answer is yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you know if you can do that tab to tab if you have multiple projects open?
I don't
Or-
believe so, no.
Okay. Then you mentioned the Give STL Day training and stuff. Does Canva have free training resources? On
Canva
that?
has a great resource library. I have found their support articles to be super helpful, especially if I'm like, this is doing something weird. This should be simpler. And so, usually I just Google the thing I'm having a problem with, and then get right there. But you can actually go to actually contact support or view all kinds of help articles. Oh, sorry, I'm in the wrong place. Did they move it? Here we go. So, how do I upload pictures?
Yeah.
Oh, this is new. This Ask Canva thing is new.
So ChatGPT.
We got a little AI going. So we started with how do I upload photos, and now we've got a wealth of resources doing it in bulk, doing it from your device. Uploading takes too long. And I think Canva does a great job of keeping their resource library current as well. Unlike Microsoft Word, where when you look for something, it's those were instructions from 2007, no longer. So I would definitely recommend this if you know what you're having an issue with. It's really helpful. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for spending your morning with me.